Good afternoon and welcome to Valley Views. I'm your host, Glenn Edison. I'm certainly glad to have you. And as always, we want to thank BTC Fiber for hosting this program. And you can see this program on BTC Fiber's YouTube page as well as, cable channel 18. And today we have with us several guests. We have, three guests, even not necessarily several, but we have Miss Ruth Burton. She's with the Bledsoe County Cancer Network. We have Steve Perry, who's a cancer survivor, and we have Dr. Phillip Burns, a local doctor here, and we're going to be discussing several things about the cancer and the Cancer Network. And so thank y'all for being with us today.
Thank you.
And Ms. Ruth, we're going to start off with you. Wanted you to give us maybe an update on the Cancer Network, some things y'all got going on, things y'all done recently.
We are the Bledsoe County Cancer Care Team, and it was started several years ago by Sherry Pendergrass, who was a young mother with cancer herself, but she saw a need for some help to people, especially in a rural area. Now, as you know, cancer hits anybody hard,
Right.
But in a rural area, you have even more challenges because you have to go longer for treatment, which means you have all your travel expenses, gas, a reliable vehicle. You have to have somebody to take you. You and them both may have to take a day off work to do that. Of course, you have food costs, eating out. So she saw that was a need and she wanted to address it. And so she formed a group, and we have had tremendous support. Everything we do is only because of the people who support us.
Right, and it should be pointed out, I know you're just like the other networks in other counties. Y'all, your money that you raise goes strictly to residents of Bledsoe County.
It stays in the local community, and that was one reason the group was formed. The American Cancer Society does great work in research and that kind of thing, but two specific individuals, we just saw a hole there.
Well, go ahead.
We hear some really sad stories of people of all ages. We've got some children. We had a situation very recently where somebody needed some help and we're going to have some money before they got treatment. They didn't have the money. And so it is very impactful in the local community. All our money stays here in this community.
Right, because one thing you mentioned is when you're talking about money, you don't realize when you're talking about gas money, and then maybe you have to eat a meal or like you said, take a day off from work. All those things go into that money. Mm-hmm. And I don't stress just the money thing, but it is important because it takes a lot of it. Because especially if you're having to go maybe 2 or 3 times a week or at least once a week, that's still time that you have to take, and that's cost.
Mm-hmm. And cancer affects everybody in one way or the other. If you haven't had it, you've had a family member, a loved one, and you've probably seen it up closer than you want to. So people do need that extra help.
And that's what your network does, goes in and helps support people, give at least somebody they can talk to if they need to, and rely on when they may say, hey, Ms. Ruth, I need this.
We're looking at other ways we can expand in the coming year and maybe build more partnerships to provide more service. Now, I don't know exactly what that's going to look like yet.
Well, sometimes that might be just somebody just listening to
Yes.
a lot of times, not necessarily financial, but just somebody to sit down and talk to.
Correct.
Because I know when you hear the C word, that's always scary
Right.
Because not all cancers are deadly. There's some that are not. But when you hear that word, it changes the whole thought in your mind process.
And we get, on average, about one person a week in Bledsoe County gets a serious cancer diagnosis.
Really? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So that's at least 52. That's 52 people a year. That's quite a bit. Well, Steve, you can address that because you're a cancer survivor yourself.
Yes, I was first diagnosed in 2018. Had prostate cancer. We did the cyberknife treatment, which is 5 real concentrated jolts of radiation.
Uh-huh.
And they go in and they put some gold markers in the prostate, and then they do MRIs and all the other stuff. And then you go in every other day, and you get 5 of those. And it's comparable to what they told me is it's comparable to a full regimen of conventional radiation. And we made it through that. And 3 years later, during some screening, we get to hear it again. We go through 35 rounds.
Wow.
Every day except a weekend. And make it through that one. Good Lord loves me. And last year, we get to hear it again. Last year, excuse me.
No, you take all the time you need.
I'm no longer a candidate for radiation. So now I'm in medical oncology. We're doing a hormone therapy this time. And I take the ADT therapy. Take a pill every day. But by God, I'm still here. And I'm still hanging on by the grace of God.
Well, and as we was talking prior to the interview, attitude a lot of times helps out. When you have I know cancer is a big thing. I mean,
Yes.
It slaps you in the face. But if you have a good attitude, that helps in the process of your treatments.
Right. And, I've got really the cancer support team. I got the card from them with the check in it. Now, it's just awesome. My family, my wife's my rock. I have 4 daughters. They all take care of me. I have 9 grandkids. They all take care. I have really, really good friends. They take care. It's every day or so somebody will call me and check on me.
Mm-hmm.
But we're hanging in there.
Well, that gets back to this network you're talking about, Miss Ruth, that you're working with everybody constantly on a week-to-week basis. And that's what it takes is, because if you had to face that all by yourself, it'd be a tough job.
It's tough.
And, but you've got friends and, like I say, family and others that help support you.
Yes.
So, well, Dr. Burns, I know in your career, of course, just in my lifetime, there's been cancers that have come up that weren't around years ago. And I guess you've seen quite a few cases of all kinds of cancer.
Yes. Yeah, and, back to Steve's heartfelt issue here, this is something, we've made a lot of progress in terms of cancer. As you said earlier, I mean, it always galvanizes your thought. You're centered in on that when somebody mentions that word. But we've made so much progress, at least in things like prostate cancer, breast cancer, and a number of others, that you may still have it, but it doesn't kill you. Because of the kind of treatment, like in Steve's case, he's an example of somebody that's, several years out here, but with every hope at least, and even an expectation that something else could, take him away from here. And that's what I think we see a lot of. And those are the kind of progressive steps we've made in cancer treatment that we don't acknowledge sometimes, because it's, whether or not somebody died from cancer or not. Understand that ultimately you want to be cured. But an awful lot of people live with it. And in fact, if you put a fine point on it in terms of the physiology, the pathology of cancer, an awful lot of us are walking around with cancer and never had it because your immune system keeps you from getting it.
Right.
And it's when you have the breakthrough that then you have something you have to treat.
Mm-hmm.
I will point out too, several things already mentioned. Steve's a good example. He said he has a lot of friends. No, he has mega lot of friends. There's not anybody that I know that doesn't know who Steve Perry is. And in this small community, and that's one thing about a smaller community is everybody knows everybody. Sometimes everybody knows everybody else's business. But on the other hand, the support is there. If not physically or even monetarily, from a psychological standpoint, to know you got people behind you. I know when I run into Steve at the hardware store or wherever, I always figure that's been a good day for me that I ran into Steve Perry and got to visit with him.
No,
And I think a lot of other people feel that way, about each other here, and that's a big benefit. And then that evolves back to what Ruth's working on, tying together that network. Yes, there are big networks out there that are national and stuff,
Right.
but having something on a local level is frankly so much more meaningful a lot of times to people involved. And so I think it's really a wonderful thing to have started something like this. I think if you look back at the history of hospice, for example, hospice largely started to try to make end-of-life care for people with cancer better. I think it was mostly hot cancer. Now, I'm not a historian, so I don't know that for sure. But I know it certainly was the case in my father's last days. And it was not available in Bledsoe County at the time, but several people pitched in and essentially became hospice care workers here, even though they weren't officially hospice care workers. So now, of course, that's something that's available to most folks' places. So there's been a lot of things that have been progressive in terms of treatment. I can go on and on, but I will just back up and say the other thing is early detection is really makes a huge difference, and you can't overemphasize that. And so many areas where we really have made progress in early detection and therefore early treatment that's more progressive, that's more successful. Prostate's one, breast cancer's one, colon cancer for sure. Many others, but those are just three that are so frequent that the early detection is important, which really comes back to getting good care, general care, taking care of your health. But anyway, I'll stop at that point. But yeah,
Well, I do want to
It's been
thank
great,
both
though.
of you for appearing. You're both important members of our community, and Steve has a background as an educator for many years. How long did you teach, Steve?
Little over 26 years.
Okay, and founded a construction business now that keeps you busy, and took on a new role as a Bledsoe County School Board member. So Dr. Burns is quite distinguished. We're fortunate to have him in Bledsoe County. He's a surgeon and founding partner of University Surgical Associates, is that right?
yes.
Has been very instrumental in the leadership of Erlanger and direction that went. He's been professor and chairman of UT College of Medicine's Department of Surgery, but local people know him as well for Burns Farms, being on the farm. And that is, I have read that you have the largest registered Hereford farm in the southeast. Is that?
Well, I don't know the numbers exactly now. It has
Okay.
been that, and it has been that a few times, yes.
But
May
very
still be. May
impressive.
still be. I don't know.
Very impressive. So
Yeah.
we appreciate, and a lot of local people that you talk to, and women who go through cancer will say, Dr. Burns is my doctor. Dr. Burns is, and just very high praise for him. We
I
appreciate
hear
that.
your name a lot, really mentioned.
Well, it was a good reason to want to come back to this area. I mean, I was in Memphis and had a very responsible job there, but moving back here allowed me to directly and certainly indirectly frequently affect healthcare in this area, and especially in Pikeville, Bledsoe County. People that are friends of mine, it's really makes you feel good about life. I mean, I see a lot of people that I never knew before, but when I see people that I've known for years and can somehow get them to somebody that they need to be treated by, that makes you feel good.
Well, I like the idea here in the valley, since I like the idea of the small town, because you get to know everybody. And, it's hard to walk down the street without meeting somebody you know. Even me being from Sequatchie County, I've gotten to know a lot of people here in Bledsoe County. So, it's the idea of having a small community and everybody around, that support, getting back to that support, because you may not see them on a day-to-day basis, but when they know you're in trouble or need help, they're there. And that's a nice feeling.
It is, and when, when somebody just calls you out of the blue and, ask you how you're doing, do you need a ride somewhere? Hard to beat it.
It certainly is. I know when I first thought I was diagnosed with cancer, it came back bad, and I said, well, what does that mean? They said, well, you might have cancer. And I thought, oh, great. And so it was going to be 3 months before I could even see a doctor. And I thought, so I'd sit in church and think, well, that'd be a good song for my funeral. That'll be a good song for my funeral. So that's where my mindset was. I thought, well, this is it. But it turned out it was not cancer. But then I later did develop cancer on my liver, which was taken care of. But that's when you hear that word, it just does things to your mind. And and I'm glad you're here, because you're a good example of the positive attitude it takes, and because it can take you down. The whole thing, if you don't have that positive attitude, that always helps.
Yeah.
Just like even if you have a sick patient, just a positive attitude, whether they have cancer or not, the attitude depends a lot. And I'm sure when people come to you, your group, I know some of your members, I know the attitude they have a positive attitude, and they want to share that with people. So
They do. Can I talk a little bit about contacting us?
Oh, yes, ma'am, because that was going to be one of the things I was going to ask, so go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm anticipating you then, but we do have an application. It's one page. It's not complicated. We don't ask about your finances. You don't have to get into a lot of things. It's just a way that we balance being good stewards of the money and helping the most people that we can.
Mhm.
So you can, a person can get an application from us, contact us. Our board members are, I wrote them down in case I forgot one, I'd be in real trouble. But Patsy Angel, Donna Lloyd, Kay Burkabile is our treasurer, Joanne Britt, Cindy Hankins, Pam Sims, Regina Moffitt, and Debbie Collier. So any of those people you can contact. We have a Facebook page, just Cancer Care Team.
Oh, okay.
There, and it's a very fast review thing. Our only real measure is that we help people who are currently undergoing treatment for cancer in our community.
Mhm.
So, and that can be a broad umbrella of what your physician recommends you to do. Even hospice, if you're that serious.
Uh-huh.
But we do that, and thanks to the good support that we get, we have recently been able to expand a little bit, and we've gone to, you can apply, and you don't have to go through the whole process, but every 6 months, if you're
Okay.
continuing to do that. We have real people and businesses who have been very good to us. We're a 501c3, so your donations are tax deductible. And that has made it possible for Sequatchie Valley Electric in their SVE Cares has been generous with us, and as well as, excuse me, Volunteer Electric has part of this service area. But they have also, SVEC has done the work to apply for matching grants from TVA.
Oh, that's
And
great.
so we've gotten that. Bledsoe Telephone Co-op does an annual dinner in honor of their co-worker, Wayne Wells.
Yes.
We do that. I think they do that in Dunlap,
Yes.
out of Dunlap too. Have a special one. Vernig Manufacturing has supported us. The school system, the high school has done press break for cancer during the basketball season. They've had something during a football game. We've had churches who have stepped up. Something unique that started was Faith Baptist Church took us on as a local ministry.
Oh,
Bethel, First Southern, other churches, because they see even within their membership of what a need this is.
well, that's really great because, like I said, that goes back to the community and everybody working together.
Right.
Because, as we mentioned earlier, it doesn't matter rich, poor, black, white. Cancer has no,
Right.
it doesn't attack just one group of people.
And we're not set up as a religious organization,
Right.
but we are people of faith, and if your name comes to us, you will be prayed for.
Well, and that's another thing. Of course, everybody needs prayers. We all need prayers every day. But that's another thing that works. I can attest to that, so I know it works. So that's a good thing that you have that. Now, do y'all have anything else you'd like to mention that we haven't mentioned?
No, I just want to thank, the cancer care team and all my friends. And,
if anybody would like to give, we have, look for our fundraisers. We do Bobby Lloyd Chicken. Bobby is one of the people very supportive. He in Dona and different things, and just support us there anytime. Maybe your end of the year giving. You can do that
during the holidays?
online. We've got Press Break for Cancer. Is the December 13th. That'll be at the high school.
Oh, okay.
So that is coming up, but you can just go by Citizens Tri-County Bank and just drive through the window and tell them to put your check in our account. We'd be happy to have it.
Oh, that'd be great. Well, at this time of year, everybody's more open to giving. It seems like their heart opens up more. I wish it'd be all year long, but it seems like that Thanksgiving and Christmas is when everybody thinks about it the most. And I do appreciate your time. Is there anything else you want to bring out before we close? Well, I want to go ahead.
I said, no, I'm good.
No.
I thank you for the opportunity to be here, and again, really glad that Steve's doing as well as he is. We're glad he's here, and he's still doing a lot of good things for the school system in particular, and that's really so important in this community. And Ruth, with all the things she does, as well, it's a privilege to be here with all of you.
Well, and I know, like you said, people look at you. A lot of people in the past would have just given up. They hear the word cancer, they just say, "Well, I'm done for," and they don't seek things, like they should. And it all goes back to that mentality. If you have a positive outlook, you can work on it. And but I do appreciate y'all being here with me today, and I appreciate all of you, and wish you all well. And hope you're December 13th, right? Okay. And we'll get that squared away. Appreciate it very much. And again, you can see this interview on BTC Fiber's YouTube page as well as our cable channel 18. So until next time, have a great day. Hey everybody, this is Glenn Edison from Valley Views. We appreciate you watching our shows, and we would like for you to like, share, and follow us on Facebook, as well as like and subscribe to our YouTube page.